Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. Today I bring you guys loot from 10 hours of playing Last Man Standing. The goal for today's video is to win as many games as possible, obtain as many points as I can, and save them all for the very end so we can cash them in and see how much money I make in a time span of 10 hours. So right off the bat, I will say there's a lot of bots in Last Man Standing, which is what you're seeing here. In my experience, they're all level 52 or upwards of level 70, but nevertheless there are quite a few bots here. Now I don't mind fighting bots because they don't eat and you can kill them almost right away if you unleash all your special attacks on them, so that's just a free key, which that key you can then open a chest and get item upgrades from. I think the most bots I ran into at the start of a game was 4, and I did manage to kill them all, and that's 4 free points for me as well as 4 different upgrades through the loot keys. So that was later on in the video, but that was the most that I've seen at one time. What you're going to be seeing in this video is me as a max main, me with 75 defense, me with 45 defense, and of course 1 defense, being all different types of builds and just trying my best to kill whoever attacks me or whoever I find first. In order to participate in competitive Last Man Standing, which I believe is what this is, you do need a minimum total level of 750 as well as 30 quest points, or a minimum total level of 1500 if you have less than 30 quest points. And if you're a hardcore Iron Man, there are safe deaths in Last Man Standing, so that is something to keep in mind. I did run into a couple of hardcores during this video, not too many though, but definitely a decent amount of normal Iron Men, and just in general a lot of variety with all the accounts that I was running into. Quite a few max people such as myself, and a lot of med level accounts as well. So one thing I was doing was looking up a lot of these people on the high scores, seeing how good they were at Last Man Standing, and a lot of the scores were kind of the same, just 1,000 or less, or a little bit more than that. The best guy that I ran into was actually rank 33, and I asked him later on in this video how much money he's made from LMS after so many games, and he said being rank 33 he's accumulated over 560 mil from Last Man Standing so far. So no doubt about it, a very profitable minigame, and you don't need any GP in order to do this, so that's really cool. A little bit of my experience, I definitely learned a lot of different styles of PKing, and I was very new to this. If you have never checked out Last Man Standing, don't even worry about it. I haven't tried it out until about 2 weeks ago when I was recording my Wilderness Boss videos. I don't know what came over me, but I just decided to give it a shot, and I really did enjoy it. And after many hours, I have kind of gotten used to it. I know how to set up my inventory, and you know, it is a little bit different depending on what build I am, but no doubt about it, it's very easy to learn once you just put a few hours into it. I would say one downside of the bots is that I would be one of the last players remaining with some of the most amazing upgrades you could ever imagine, featuring the Vesta's Longsword, the Statius Warhammer, or the Morgian's Javelins, only to find out that my last opponent would be a bot and they would just die to the deadly fog instead of myself. So that was kind of a letdown, but luckily in 10 hours I think that only happened about 2 to 3 times. A lot of these bots just try to hide in locations, for example going upstairs in remote areas or going all the way towards the end of the map, so most players do recognize this though, and they hunt them down just for a simple free upgrade and a, you know, quick easy kill. In my very first hour I did receive 32 Last Man Standing points, which is not too bad. I think in my second hour I received about 27, and then I decided to take a break and go to PvP Worlds. Of course, mainly just using the Void Waker. I figured I would show you guys my footage here, and if you enjoy the short little montage, then let me know in the comments section below, and I will happily get started on loot from 10 hours of PvP. Similar to Last Man Standing, that would be a first for me. I usually just PK in the Revenant Caves or in Deep Wild, so this was all in all a pretty new experience for me this week, trying out all these new things. But I really enjoyed it. I used to always see the question back when I live streamed of how do I learn how to PK, or how do I become good at PKing, and everyone always had the same answer before I could even answer it myself, and that was Last Man Standing. Minimal requirements, and if you get a few kills you'll actually be making some profit per hour while trying to increase your skill to PK anyone you want, whether it's in Deep Wild or wherever. Well, that is enough of my first montage of PvP for you guys. Back to LMS. As you can see, dying on the final round against this guy. Some people are just really good no matter how your gear is. They're just going to be better at clicking, or maybe they just have really good RNG with DPS. But either way, I certainly had my fair share of deaths. I would say a majority of the time I definitely did not win these games. I would almost come in in second, third, or fourth. I'd say that's probably my average rate. One thing I learned about being a one defense peer in Last Man Standing is that dragon knives and a granite maul are, no doubt about it, the best two things you can get while you're in a fight. The stack of damage and the speed of dragon knives is just insane, and then the fact that you have a granite maul and you can get your opponent lower than half HP, and they're one defense but you're 99 strength, and you most of the time have an Inferno cape and a Fury and really good strength bonus, makes it so that that granite maul is almost undefeated. You know, it's just always killing people. So I really enjoyed those two things when I was a level 1 defense peer. As it goes for being 45 defense, I really was enjoying wearing Inquisitor as well as Morgian's javelins and using Avesta's longsword, things like that. That was an interesting build. One weapon that was good across all builds would definitely be Dragon Claws. It's really easy to kind of one tick fake drink a potion and then put on the claws and spec your opponent right away, so most of the time they're not going to be protecting melee on that, so they're very useful in Last Man Standing. And same goes for the loot crates. Anytime that I wasn't in a fight and I was just kind of roaming around and I saw that a loot crate had spawned at a specific location, I would definitely try my best to reach that location as fast as possible, and most of the time I'd get rewarded with anything from Avesta's longsword all the way down to an Elder Maul or a dark bow. It really just depends on your RNG. I did use a dark bow one time when I was a one defense build, and it was actually pretty good. One thing that I was constantly getting in loot chests were a set of full DH, whether I was 75 defense or 99, and I did use the full set to my advantage, but a lot of the time I would just not hit anything with the axe and I'd be very low HP and they wouldn't be praying melee, so my patience definitely ran out very quickly when I would use DH. So later on I just kind of took the helmet and the plate legs and I wouldn't use the axe or the plate body. That's why it's really good if you get a Carol's top while doing LMS, because you're always going to have that black D-hide top, but Carol's is just exceptionally better. And yeah, overall I was having a pretty good time. This is definitely one of those things that you don't want to do 10 hours of in one sitting, because think about it like this: you're always going to be fighting someone, you always have to give it your all, clicking constantly, trying to concentrate and predict what they're going to be doing before they even do it. And to do this for 10 hours straight is just, it's almost impossible, at least it was for me. So that's why this video took about 3 days. On average, I would do about 3 hours and 30 minutes a day, and then today I did the final 3 hours. On the side, I was working on my Iron Man whenever I would take a break from Last Man Standing, or I would just go to PvP, which you guys have already seen in this video. So I made sure that I was still getting videos done, but at the same time, I just definitely needed to give my fingers a break. So that's really the only advice I have for you guys. As it goes for another way to get unskulled, I always use the Dragon Slayer 2 method and I just die by Galvic, but another way that you can quickly get unskulled is just joining a Last Man Standing game and then leaving or just dying right away. This is limited if you do keep leaving or logging out, but it is a decent way to get unskulled pretty quickly, so there is that as well. Once again, the Granite Maul getting me a kill as a one defense setup. That was very nice to see. I was also experiencing a volatile staff for the first time quite a few times when I would search a loot chest, and I actually never used the special attack, but I would always use it over a Kodai wand, so I'm not sure if it's more magic bonus, but it does look intimidating, and it might make them pray magic a little bit more often than praying melee. I was a huge fan of the Zuriel staff. I think it's one of the coolest looking staffs in the game, and I really wish that the Zuriel staff, Vesta's longsword, Statius Warhammer, and Morgian's javelins were in the main game. I think they're only set in PvP worlds, that's where you can access them. But yeah, I really wish that they were accessible in every single world. I mean, there's already the Void Waker in the game, which is extremely powerful, so you might as well just add in all the other things too, but that's just my opinion. I don't see that ever happening, unfortunately. Well, I take that back. There is more wilderness updates coming, so you never know. It might be a possibility in the near future. Never count anything out. Another cool weapon that I encountered was the Inquisitor's Mace. All sorts of things that I've never even purchased in this game I was getting access to for the first time ever and trying them out, and they were just so overpowered. I really loved this new experience, all these new weapons, but it all starts the same. You know, you always have to start with that Dragon Dagger and hope for the best, so that's why it's good that there's always going to be bots here, because those are just quick kills and quick upgrades for when you get into a real fight. A lot of it does have to do with RNG, but a lot of it also has to do with how good of a PKer you are. You know, there's all sorts of switches that you're going to be constantly doing, keeping distance from one another. There's just so many different tactics that go into this, but I've been PKing for a few years, and I'd like to think that I held my own pretty well in this video. Probably could have done much better, but I think I did okay for my very first time spending, you know, a decent amount of time at Last Man Man Standing, and I really do enjoy it. I mean, actually, when I finished recording all the clips for this video for the last 2 hours, I've been at Last Man Standing post-video, so yeah, it's definitely something that I can see myself going back to, and I'm always going to be making profit, well over 1 mil profit an hour, no spoiler intended with that, but yeah, just nice to see over 1 mil an hour being made and just having fun at the same time and trying to become a better PKer at the same time as well. I did run into another live streamer. His username is Sync, SYNQ, and he is a player moderator, so that was the only notable person that I did run into other than the guy who was ranked 33. Unfortunately for me, though, Sync did kill me in a matter of seconds. I'm not sure why that guy doesn't make YouTube videos. I did check out his channel, very inactive, but all the videos that he did post have exceptional views, so I don't know why he doesn't continue to do that. But yeah, a little shout out to him. So something cool that you can get from the LMS store with 300 points, you do need 75 attack to wield it, but you can actually buy a Vesta's Blighted Longsword. You can activate it by using 50 million coins on it, and then it becomes equipable, and it does have the special attack, but only works against monsters and players in the wilderness on target worlds. So that is something to keep in mind. I think that's the only item that is accessible of all the other items that I did mention from before about them being unique, like the Statius Warhammer and Zuriel Staff. So the real question is, am I going to be purchasing the Vesta's Longsword for a future video with 300 of my Last Man Standing points, as we are coming to a close here on my very last game, getting a 1 defense build as well as the Granite Maul, so you know it's going to go good. I really do feel just, you know, invincible with this Granite Maul as a 1 defense build. It is so powerful, so fast, and you can use almost any combination weapon with it so that they never see when it's coming. And with that being said, I had no problem with my remaining opponents. I actually thought there was a bot that I had to face at the end, so I was a little upset, but then all of a sudden a guy came jumping across the river, and there you go, the very last fight of the video, and it did end in my favor. So loot from 10 hours of LMS has been completed. Ending today's video with 305 Last Man Standing points, and there was some great options for profit, but I just personally chose the parchments because I knew that they would sell right away, but the ornate handle for the Granite Maul was also a good option, but I think I made the right call. So all in all, I was able to get 16 parchments and 17 looting bags, which did come out to be, rounded up, about 15 mil profit from 10 hours of LMS. That is 1.5 mil an hour, and just practicing my PKing abilities was all I was doing. So I got practice and I made some decent GP along the way. Well, that is going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see 10 hours of PvP, make sure to leave me a comment below, and a big thank you to the channel members, with a special shout out to Matthew Stivers and SwanPositive. Until next time, Mr. No Sleep out.